Hello student. In the previous session we have seen that to connect with the database there are different components are needed. Among them we have seen driver manager class, connection class or API, result set API. Then after we just define that statement. In the statement we have seen prepared statement. So this all the things are most needed in when you connect with the database in Java. So for the connectivity, when different tasks you have to perform with the database and you want to fetch the data or to apply some operation on the database, then it is needed that different types of statements you have to create. So among them there are three types of statements are there: normal statement, prepared statement and callable statement. In previous session we have seen normal statement and prepared statement. So prepared statement generally needs when you want to give parameters to the query. So this way prepared statement is work and it is pre-compiled. So the execution of the prepared statement of the query is much faster when we compare to the normal statement. So these are the basic difference between prepared statement and normal statement. Now we see callable statement. So first of all, what is callable statement interface? So callable statement interface is used to call the stored procedure and functions. When you need any type of functions or stored procedures in the database, at that time to execute the functions and stored procedures, we have to fetch or we have to call this functions and stored procedure. So at that time the callable statement is used or callable statement interface is used. So basically we all we are aware that when you apply only repeated task or when you apply that reusability of the code, at that time you define function. So generally stored procedure is stored in the database, and to call or to execute the code of the stored procedure, callable statement is used. So callable statements are pre-compiled, that's why performance is better. So same as prepared statement, callable statement is also pre-compiled. So performance wise the callable statement is also gives best output. Callable statement object contains call of the stored procedure or function which is defined in the database. So you have to create a function or stored procedure in database, and using callable statement you can call that function. So JDBC provides that the stored procedure escape syntax in two form. When you define the callable statement or when you work with the stored procedure and the function, some syntax is defined, and to executing that functions and stored procedure, there are two parameters are needed, that is the in parameter and out parameter. So to working with that parameter, the syntax is defined that some syntax is contain this parameter and some context maybe not. So this escape syntax is defined the JDBC form. So in this form one form contains result parameter while the other one does not contain any result parameter in the stored procedure escape syntax. So if you want to result parameter, then it is registered as an out parameter. So it means that when you create a function that have to return any data, then it is defined as the result parameter as out parameter. So if you do not want to return any type of data, then it is defined at second form of the escape syntax. So what is in parameter and out parameter? So a parameter whose value is unknown. When the SQL statement is created, you bind values to in parameters with the set method. It means that you give parameters to the functions or stored procedures. Normally we see that when we create any functions, there are different types of functions are available, like return type and with parameter functions, and with return type and without parameter, etc. So when you create a function in database or stored procedure in database, at that time if you want to give a parameter in function, then that parameter is worked as a in parameter in SQL. And when you create any function that returns any type of data, so that return type is defined as the out parameter. So this way in parameter and out parameter works in the database. So generally in parameter is worked to set the value of the parameter, as we all know that, for example, if we create any function like void ab, and in this we just pass one parameter as integer. So here integer is what as our in parameter, right? So this way you can say that here integer is worked as our in parameter. So to set the value of this integer type, we use in parameter in our SQL statement. So this way in parameter is worked in our database or in our SQL query. And when you define any out parameter, so a parameter whose value is supplied by the SQL statement it returns. So you retrieve the value of the out parameters with the get method. So for example, you create any function like for example just integer ab. So here integer in the AB function, there is the value written as integer type. So this written value is defined as your out parameter. So this way in function in parameter and out parameter works. Maybe in some query you can use both type of parameter like in out parameter. So to work with the out parameter you use get method, and to work with in parameter you can use set method. Because when you use in parameter, at that time you have to set the value in the function, and when you use out parameter, at that time you fetch the data using query. So there is the get method is used. So these are the different types of parameters are available when you work with the function and procedure in the database. Now the syntax is this, to create a procedure, that how you can create a procedure in database. So first of all you have to create or replace procedure, then after give the procedure name, and then after just define that field type that you want to give as a parameter. So field 1 in our parameter, and then after the data type, and then second parameter and is begin insert into table name values. So field 1 and field 2. So this is the basic query of when you work with our database. And this is defined as when you want to call a procedure. So when you want to call that procedure, then prepare call method is used. So you have to create one callable statement object, and using connection object you can call the prepare call method, and in the prepare call method you have to pass one parameter, that is the procedure name. So this is the basic syntax, that you have to define the keyword call to call that procedure, and then after the procedure name is defined, and in this you have to pass the parameter if you have given in the your procedure. So here is the example is defined that here we create one procedure. So create or replace procedure 1. So first procedure 1 is created. In this we pass two parameters, id and number. id is contained as number data type, and name is contained varchar data type. So in this student table we put both values id and name. And using when we call the procedure, so callable statement object is created, and using connection object con we prepare call method, or we call the prepare call method, and in this parameter pass as to call that procedure. So call procedure 1, and two parameter is passed in the procedure, so that is the id and name, which is applied we dynamically or using set method. So using set method we can pass this parameter. So here we just put in question marks as a parameter value. So this is the basic example of to create a procedure and to call a procedure. Now the next API is result set. Result set API is used to access the data of the table from the database. So result set object stores the data of the table by executing the query. It also maintains the cursor position for navigation of the data. When you working with the database, to to fetch the data from the database, we create a statement, and using a statement, query is passed to the database, and database analyze the query and generate output. So this output is stored by the result set API, and it also contains a navigation. So when you want to move on the data from previous to next and any other type of, then you can moving with the cursor position. It can fetch the data either passing column name or index number with get methods. So by default result set object can be moved forward only, and it is not updatable, but we can make this object to move forward and backward direction by passing either. So you can use type underscore scroll underscore insensitive or type underscore scroll underscore sensitive variable to move backward or forward in the result set. There are different types of fields are available in the result set interface. Among them, first one is conquer underscore read underscore only. It defines that a result set object cannot be modified. If you want to modify the result set object, then you can set conquer underscore updatable. If the cursor can move only forward, then set as type underscore forward underscore only. Then if you do not want any modifier or updation, then define type underscore scroll underscore insensitive. And if you want any modification, then set as type underscore scroll underscore sensitive variable. Then these are the methods to for the cursor navigation. So first method, last method, previous method, next method, after last method, before first method, relative method, and absolute method. So these are the methods which is pointed out to the position of the result set when you move your cursor in table or in records. So at that time this method is used, and after calling this method, one of the methods, you can move your cursor from the bottom to up any position of the data in the table. So these are the different methods for cursor navigation. Now there is the result set metadata is there. Result set generally we all know that metadata is defined that data about data. So it contains the information about the data which we applied in our application or in our program. So there are the two types of metadata interface are available in JDBase. First one is result set metadata, and the second one is database metadata. Result set metadata contains the all the information which is related to the result set, which is generated from the database when we apply any query, and after execution this query the result set is generated. So this all the information is stored in the result set metadata. While the second one is database metadata, it contains all the information of the database in database metadata. So this interface is used to obtain the information about type and properties of column in a result set metadata, and it is used to store the different types of information like what is the number of columns in result set, what is the name of columns, what is the type of column in, then what is the maximum size of column, and you can put any restriction or any prerequisites or not in the data. So this it is all the information is defined by the result set metadata. So to get the information of the result set, there are different methods are available. The first one is get column count method. So this method is returns the number of columns are available in the result set. Second one is get column name, and in this you have to pass one parameters that specified which specific column name you want to fetch. So the column number you have to give in the parameter and it returns the column name of the table. Then after column type, if you want to fetch that which type of data is contained in the column, using get column type method you can fetch this information. In this method you also have to pass that column number, and using this column number the method is fetched that which type of data is stored. Then next one is nullable. If any column is nullable or not, or is contains any null value or not, if you want to check this thing, then is nullable method is called, and for that particular column you have to pass that column number value in the parameter. So this is the these are the methods of result set metadata. Then the next one is database metadata. Database metadata contains all the information which is the defined in the database. So there are different types of methods are available, and it returns the list of information in the form of result set objects. So it provides many methods in the comprehensive information terms of database. For example, like what tables are available, then what is your username known to the database, then is the database is read only mode, or is the name of what is the name of the product, and what is the database driver is used, and which version you can use, and how many types of tables are available, or all the things that is related to the database you can fetch using database metadata. And to fetch this information there are lots of numbers of methods are available. Among that there are fews are there. So first one is get database product name. So it returns the product name of the database. The second one is get username. So it returns the username. And the next one is get URL. So it returns the URL of the database, then schemas, primary keys, procedures, tables, driver name, driver version, and is read only mode. So this all the things you can get from the database metadata methods. Next one is that how can you execute the query in JDBC. So Java database connectivity defines a set of API objects and methods which we see in previously. So to communicate with the database, how the step-by-step procedure you have to follow to connect with the database. So there are the few steps are there. That first you have to register the driver class, then after to create a connection object, then after create a statement and execute the queries, and last one is close the connection. So first one is register the driver class. So in this step 1 you have to use for name method that is used to register the driver class, and this method is used to dynamically load the driver class. It means for name method contains the database driver information as a parameter, and using for name method driver manager handles this that database driver which it defines that which database you can use for the database connectivity. So for this thing database driver is needed, and it is applied in the for name method of class. So the syntax of the for name method is public static void for name, and in the for name method you have to pass one class name. So it is a string type of class name which defines the database driver, and it also throws the class not found exception. If any type of driver is not available in the API, so it throws the exception as class not found exception. For example, if you want to connect with the Oracle database, then you have to pass the Oracle driver in your forename method. So this is the example of to register the Oracle driver database, that is the class.forename, and in the bracket you pass parameter as oracle.jdbc.driver.oracle driver. Then you have to create a connection object. So after getting that which database you can interact with JDBC when with application, the second step is that in the database which type in the after establishing the driver, that you have to create a connection that is used to connect with database with your application. So get connection method of driver manager class is used to establish connection with the database. So after approaching or after connecting with the database driver manager call the get connection method. So using get connection method you can connect it with the database. So in this get connection method you have to pass different parameters. For example, if any database contains username or password, then you have to pass the database name, username and password. And if any database does not contain any username or password, then you just have to pass that database path. So these are the different method overloading is defined that for the get connection method. So in the first type there is one only parameter pass, that is string URL, and it also throws SQL exception if any error is occurred. The second one is that get connection method, and it contains three parameters, that is string URL, string name and string password. And to for example here define that we create connection object, and using driver manager get connection method we set the connection, and in this we pass a string URL that is reside at that is defined the database path. So for the Oracle it is a JDBC colon oracle colon theme colon at the rate localhost colon the port is 1521 and colon XC. And for the defaultly the username is a system, and then after you have to set any type of password which is set for the Oracle, you have to given in the password parameter. So this is the basic example to establish the connection with the Oracle database. Then after the step 3 is that to create a statement object. So after establishing the connection with that particular database and application, you have to pass the request, or we can say that you have to pass the query to the database. So to pass the query to the database we need a statement object. So we using create a statement method of connection interface you can create a statement. So the object of a statement is responsible to execute these queries with the database. So in this syntax is defined that public statement create statement method, and it throws SQL exception. So this is the example that you create normal statement. So for that we create statement object, and using connection object we call create statement method. Then step 4 is execute the query. So after creating the statement we have to pass the original query to the database. So and to execute that query we use execute query method of the statement interface that is applied to execute the query in the database. So this method returns the object of result set, and it can be used to get all the records of a table. It means that when you execute a query in the database some output is generated. So to fetch that output we have a result set object is there which is contains all the written data. So for that syntax is execute query is public result set execute query, and in the execute query method we pass one parameter, that is a string SQL query, and it also throws SQL exception. For example, here we just create a result set object RS, and the statement object is stmt.execute query, and parameter we pass one query. So select star from EMP. And to fetch one by one data, we use a while loop and next method. And using system.out.println, we just print out the value of the table of employee. So there are the two columns are there, and it contains integer and string type of data. So we just fetch the data using getter method and passing column number. So this is the execute query of the execute the query and fetch the result using result set object. And the last step is to close the connection. So when you get all the data from the database, then at last you have to close the connection object. So by closing connection object, statement and result set will be closed automatically. So the close method of connection interface is used to close the connection. For that, you just have to need write a close function. So it does not return any value. So this is the syntax of the close function is public void close, and it throws SQL exception. For example, using connection object, we can close the connection. So con dot close method is used. So these are the basic steps for the Java database connectivity with any type of database you want to create. With any application with the then you can use this step and execute your further process.